saying Quan knew the real behind-the-scenes story when it comes to Nut's death and the part Thug played in it. Amber Williams wasn't just rich homie Quan's longtime girlfriend. She was the one person closest to him during the fallout after Big Nut's death, and she saw not just the tension, but how Quan started moving differently after everything went down. The way he pulled back from Thug, the fear in his eyes when his dad got shot. She might not have gone public, but she knew what Quan knew. The names he whispered behind closed doors, the connections he made but never dared to say out loud. And when he told people, you can tell Thug had something to do with it, we just can't prove it. Best believe that wasn't some throwaway line. That was something he'd been carrying, something Amber had been watching eat away at him for years. Quan made it clear in leaked audio and interviews that he believed young Thug had something to do with Big Nut's, and he wasn't some random bystander. He was tied into the streets, close to Nut. And when the energy shifted after that, he felt it in real time. That same shift also destroyed his relationship with Thug. They went from dropping hits to barely being in the same room. And that divide ran deep, especially once Quan's dad got shot by people affiliated with YSL, which only fueled more speculation about who was sending messages and why.
Your commitment to being a real dude and all this kind of like forbids you from putting it out there, even though obviously the fans have been really clamoring for that information for all these years.
Now, Amber has been mourning Quan's death privately and respectfully. Amber was also the one who found Quan unresponsive, and she immediately called 911 and showed nothing but genuine grief. But that doesn't mean she didn't know things. When you're that close to someone like Quan, during that kind of chaos, it's almost impossible not to pick up the pieces. Amber was there, watching it all unfold. And whatever Quan knew about Big Nut's death, she knew too. She was around when the fallout with Thug happened, and when Quan's father got shot. She would have been the one seeing his paranoia, his silence, the way he moved differently after Big Nut got killed. Now, let's talk about that. Big Nut was more than just a street figure. He was a father, a son, a big homie to his crew, and somebody trying to level up in the music game. Before he got killed, he was managing not just rich homie Quan, but other folks like YFN Lucci too. He had real ties in the city, from the hood to the music scene, and was planning to step away from the streets for good. But that chance got cut short. On January 10th, 2015, Nut was supposed to link with his dad, brother, and a few others at a sports bar on Memorial Drive to catch a playoff game. But before heading there, he swung by Hair Unlimited on McDaniel Street for a cut. After his haircut, he chilled outside the shop, smoking and talking with folks in the lot. But something didn't feel right. While a crowd of people stood around, a gray Infiniti crept by slow. Out of nowhere, someone popped out the sunroof wearing a mask and holding an AK-47. They aimed straight at the crowd and started spraying. Nut ran toward the shop, but the shooters followed through. He got hit multiple times before he could make it inside. The barbershop doors were already locked, and folks were ducking on the floor. Nut fired back with his own pistol, but it was too late. Two others got hit in the chaos. Reginald Hendricks, a longtime friend of Nut, took a shot to the back. A 14-year-old kid named Tiger got hit in the leg. All three were rushed to Grady Hospital, but only two made it out. Nut didn't survive. Not long after Nut was killed, the streets started talking, and the word was, this wasn't random. Folks were saying it was gang-related, and fingers started pointing at YSL, the crew tied to Young Thug and known as a branch of the Bloods. Then Lil Woody sat down with Atlanta police back in 2015 and started spilling. He told them straight up, Young Thug was involved. According to Woody, Thug drove by the barbershop and saw Nut outside. Then he allegedly linked up with 4 other YSL members, switched cars, and they doubled back to handle it. What makes this whole thing even wilder is that Thug, Nut, and the rest of YSL used to be cool at one point. There was real history there. Back in 2014, Nut was already deep in the music game. He was managing both Quan and Lucci, two dudes who, like him, were said to be affiliated with the Inglewood family gangster bloods. Nut wasn't just repping, he was playing power moves behind the scenes. Rich Homie and Thug were doing a lot of music together back then. especially through Birdman's Rich Gang. But Quan never signed any contracts. That's because Nut was stepping in, making sure Quan didn't get locked into anything shady or career killing. Nut even flew out to LA and Miami to connect directly with Birdman. At first, it looked like everybody was on good terms, but somewhere down the line, that relationship shifted, and the tension started building. Vlad sat down with DJ Academics and dropped a little bomb. He said he had a FaceTime call with rich homie Quan, and during that convo, Quan allegedly admitted that Nut had a lot to do with him refusing to officially sign with Rich Gang. Basically, Nut wasn't trying to let Quan get caught up in a bad deal, and that rubbed some people the wrong way. Fast forward 7 years after Nut's death, May 2022. That's when Young Thug, Gunna, and over 20 YSL affiliates got hit with a major RICO indictment. Prosecutors said Thug co-founded YSL, and they weren't painting it like no music label. They called it a violent gang tied to shootings, carjackings, and more. And Nut's death was a major part of the case. 4 YSL members were charged in connection. Now here's where it gets messy. Back in 2015, Woody told cops YSL and Thug were behind Nut's. But during the trial, Woody switched up. He said he lied to get out of doing serious time. But Woody still admitted to some wild stuff. Like, he confessed to shooting up rich homie Quan's dad's barbershop. He said it was to send a message since Quan was beefing with his homie, Threat. And in response, one of Nut's people, Shell Kell, spun back and shot up a YSL gambling spot and Thug's car. They had more run-ins, too. Woody said he and Shell Kell crossed paths at Cascade Skating Rink. He pulled a gun on him, but didn't shoot. Later, they saw each other again at Club Crucial, and that time, it popped off. Shell and his crew jumped Woody, and then other YSL members started firing shots. There was also this incident from late 2014. Woody admitted he broke into Nut's truck and stole a custom Planters Peanut Man chain, plus his wallet and phone. When Nut called his own phone, Woody picked up. They agreed to link up so he could return the stuff. But that moment is supposedly what sparked Nut wanting revenge. And the beef didn't end there. On Father's Day in 2019, Nut's mom went to his gravesite and found it vandalized, spray painted with SLAT in green. That's a phrase tied to YSL that means slime love all the time. Fast forward again to October 2024. Young Thug ended up pleading guilty to several gang and gun charges. He was released on probation.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, well, regardless of what happened, Nut's family still hasn't seen justice. No convictions, no closure.